Welcome to Glazed Over, a podcast for contemporary ceramic studios. We're your host, Jessica Cowan.
And Amy Williams. You're invited to join us in creative conversation about life in the arts as entertainment space.
Hey, Jess.
Hi, Amy.
How the heck are you?
Oh, I'm always doing great, being creative,
There you go.
hanging out in Chattanooga.
We promised last episode, and I realized this after we stopped recording, that we have not had a follow-up now, months later, on how your podcast talk went at the library.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It went so good. And it's so funny because my parents were convinced that there would only be one or two kids there. And I was happy to do it for one or two kids. This is a small town in nowhere land. But that's the thing, because it's nowhere land, there's miles and miles of farmland. So we had 10 kids who had come from 30 plus minutes away who came to have this podcast workshop. And I think it's really special because these are kids who sit on farmhouses in the middle of 500 acres of corn. So they don't get a lot of these opportunities, and I'm always really excited to have an opportunity to connect with them like that.
Yeah, and it goes to show, like, your dreams are not, they can come out of a cornfield in nowhere land, that you don't have to be like in the middle of the biggest city with all the opportunities in the world.
Right. Someone's just got to give you a voice.
Yeah, what kind of podcast do they want to do?
Oh my gosh, that was so funny, is seeing what we all developed mini episodes while we were there. And, sports games, that was a big one. But there was one young man who wanted to do his was called Pain. And it was all episodes of times that he's gotten hurt in a wacky way, and interviews with other people who have gotten hurt in similar wacky ways. And I was like, you know what?
I would listen.
I'd listen.
Yeah, because I love like near-death experiences. So, I mean, I know that's like probably not what he's going for, but still, pretty good idea. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to
they're very creative.
Yeah.
Yes. To Pain.
That reminds me, it is very helpful if people subscribe and like and rate and all of that stuff for the podcast. So we would deeply appreciate that kind of stuff, because a lot of work goes into this, not just us showing up and talking, but behind the scenes, all the scheduling and emailing and editing and all that stuff. So yeah, please
we want to know that you like it and you want to keep doing it, want us to keep doing it.
Very, very true. And speaking of liking it, we had Lulu on today. Lulu from As You Wish. And you know what? Last time, because spoiler alert, we have had to re-record this episode, I said her last name for the first time ever. I've known Lulu for like 10 years at this point, and I forgot to practice it for this episode. So Lulu
I got it. Don't worry.
Oh, go ahead.
So today we got to talk to Lulu Villanueva.
There you go.
From As You Wish.
Love that. Yes. And we talked to Lulu about what makes a successful sample, being a lead artist for such a, big, important studio, and kind of everything in between.
Yeah, it was a good time. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this episode. So have a listen.
Enjoy.
Feel like a juggler at your ceramic studio? Between classes, bookings, and admin tasks, those pins keep flying. Let Occasion help you put down the act and get back to creating. Visit occasion.act to discover your peace of mind.
Hey everyone, Des Toll here from Biscuit Imports. You know how much we love our customers, and supporting the CCSA.
Lulu, we've got you here today to talk about successful samples. And first, we want to know a little bit. Well, we want to know all about you, but let's start with a little bit about you for our listeners.
Hi, I'm Lulu. I'm the custom artist for As You Wish Pottery. I've been in the industry here now about 14 years, I want to say. I just turned 14 with As You Wish. I've done a lot of art. I started with media arts and animation in the Art Institute, and my original plan was to do storyboards, but it was just not a feasible career path. It's something that requires you to have some time without work and things like that, and bills don't pay themselves, so I had to look for something more livable, more affordable. So at some point or another, I ended up in Arizona, ended up stopping by As You Wish, fell in love with it from the minute I went inside, and they haven't kicked me out yet. So it's been an awesome adventure for me. I got to learn from a lot of past custom artists. Like Liz used to be the custom artist before me, and there was someone else before her. And everything I kind of figured out myself, or got some training with, have some inspiration to live up to, Amy being one of them as well. So I got to experience all the nitty gritty of the pottery world, starting from an associate all the way to now where I am as a custom artist.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Congratulations on 14 years. And people say we can't make a career out of this. Here we are.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's amazing.
When did you step
Getting-
into the role as custom artist?
I want to say it's been like 7 years now,
Yeah.
about 7, pretty much halfway through. I think I was the manager for like 5 to 6 at most, and then the rest has been just custom artists from there. So it was a surprise and also like something that I really, really wanted. So like when the opportunity came, I was so excited about it, and I just took it and ran with it.
How
When
did
did you know you wanted to be the custom artist?
From the minute I came into
Immediately?
the store,
Just from
immediately.
so you're like,
Yeah.
this was the life
Like
dream.
the
Yeah.
minute that my brush touched glaze and the pottery, I was like, I need to do this for a living. I love this.
Did you ever
Relatable.
feel a moment of like, oh no, like, because it takes a lot of confidence, I think, to be like, oh, I'm gonna design this thing, and then 8 studios are then going to paint it. Like, did you ever have, and do you still have these freak out moments?
Okay, at the beginning, so it's really funny because at the beginning, when I first got the role, Liz was like, she had just stepped in as the marketing director, and she was like, "So you're the custom artist, so figure out a class, paint 6 or 7 samples of it, and that's it." And it was the first thing I ever painted. It was a bowl with a bunch of fruit on the inside, like small sized fruit, and I did like sponging and like a little bit of watercoloring, which is a technique I kind of got obsessed with and stuff, and I hated it so much, you guys. Like I to this day I still have nightmares about that bowl, and everyone else loved it. Everyone else loved it. The customers loved it. The staff loved it, and I kind of had to accept that at some point or another I'm going to hate some things I do. I'm just not. I'm going to be like, what are you doing?
But
What's happening?
can you say why you hate it, or is it just like, it's just not your
Oh,
vibe?
it's because I have this like, it's not a perfectionist type of thing, but I definitely want to constantly push the envelope. I constantly want to push myself, but I also need to remind myself that not everyone can paint at my level and that not everything needs to be perfect. So I have a little bit of trouble with that just because I want to make it like the hottest, most like, what? Like, I want things to sell
Yeah.
themselves. That's kind of like my mindset. I want you to look at something and be like, I need that, that kind of thing. But that's just not realistic sometimes, with an hour of paint time and customers that like this is their first time stopping by. So to them, it might be a terrifying thing to try to attempt. So I had to like constantly balance myself with pushing the envelope and like reeling it back in just because, like I said, nobody can like it's not like nobody can paint like me, but I get to sit and paint all day and they don't. So I have to be
Yeah.
very mindful about that. Yeah. So and when it comes to hating things, I don't know, I'm just really critical, okay, you guys? I'm just so
No,
critical about it all.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Jess and I were just talking about how, like, in her studio, she's very technique forward, right? That's what you're
Mhm.
saying, Jess. You like to have
Yeah.
samples that have techniques and stuff like that. When you're creating a new sample, Lulu, are you considering that kind of stuff? Are you thinking, like, okay, this one I need to do sponging on, this one I need to do tape, or is it all just vibes?
I think it's just vibe. Mainly if something gives me the opportunity to use a technique, I will. So like if it's something that I feel like bubbles might look good on or dots might look good on, that kind of thing, I kind of lean that way. But ultimately I just kind of like whatever will make that piece look good, to be honest with you. So I kind of mostly focus on techniques when it comes to like kid classes or like that kind of thing. Like summer classes, every summer class has some sort of technique because I feel like that makes sense. And then now we also have these plates in our studios which have like each technique. So like I was saying, bubbles, lace, all those kinds of things. So if a customer wanted to come into the studio and just go in and do a technique, they have like a little video on how to go about it, that kind of thing. So I try to like not limit myself to just techniques, just because the idea here is to like create something that inspires them, and whatever they take from there, they can do it in their own. So if they want to do a technique, there's so many tools around them that they can just use.
Do a lot of the samples at y'all studios, are they floor samples for walk-in or are they primarily geared towards classes?
We have a balance of both, I want to say. We have like our monthly, we don't do classes per se anymore. We kind of do events now. So I just go in and we have some sort of theme, that kind of thing. And then I just go in ham and paint a bunch of stuff towards that theme. So our events will kind of have more of a theme gear or more of a theme mindset. And then when it comes to the floor samples, it's just whatever's cute, whatever I'm feeling, whatever I have time for, that kind of thing. So we have a balance of both. So there's always going to be floor samples on the floor, then we have display samples above. So like those are themed as well. So right now we have Father's Day and I want to say lemons or something like that on the base. So like
And the
our
beach
windows
scene.
have
I just heard something about a beach scene.
yeah, beach I think is happening now. They're changing it today
Mm.
actually. Yes. So today they're changing to 4th of July and beach. So we have like 4th of July will be on the window and then beach will be on the base and then floor samples as well on the sales floor with whatever item in front of whatever item.
How
So
often are
that's what,
you?
like a month in advance that we're changing out these displays?
No, we do them every other month, I want to say. It's like about like every
Okay.
other month we change them, that kind of thing. And those are just the display samples. Like the floor samples pretty much just stay year out. And then we just sprinkle in like whenever Halloween comes, we sprinkle in some extra Halloween samples and things like that. But pretty much whatever's on the sales floor stays like that the whole year through.
So I think this is a great time to kind of walk through how important it is to be doing this stuff like very well in advance. I would imagine that you
Mhm.
painted the 4th of July stuff around Valentine's Day, maybe. Walk us through like what the timeline is around like big events, holidays, and how long it takes you.
So I pretty much do everything like a month ahead. So like I'm a month ahead of everything pretty much. So 4th of July and beach, I won't lie, I was kind of a little behind on.
No, Lulu, this is your
So
time to lie a little bit and say,
I can't. I'm not gonna lie.
it's a
I'm
do as I
always
say,
I'm not gonna. I
not as
can't
I
do it. I
do.
can't do it. I say for me is because I do have an awesome team that we can move things around. We can kind of adjust. I can also get help when painting. So like I say, it depends on your team, depends on your strengths. So if you know that you need time, plan for that time. So like when it comes to if I'm starting something completely new, like I don't quite remember, but I think the last time that we recorded this that we did this, I was working on a new spring display sample or display set and whatever. And that took 2 months. And it was the first month of just planning out, doodling, scratching off, passing it out to Liz to see if she hated it, dealing with the things that she was just like, don't love it, that kind of thing. And then trying to figure out things that she would love. That took a month.
We're all wondering about that.
Right, right. And then the next month it was painting. As soon as I was done with my sketching, with my designing, then I went into finding the pieces that would work, making sure that there was inventory for them, that kind of thing, making sure that I could get them in time, and then ordering all of that. Then I sat down for a whole month. All I did was spring display stuff. I would say it really depends. If you want something, if you want to give it all, if you want to give it your attention, give yourself time to look up stuff that is trending, look up things that go together, look up what's the next hottest thing, that kind of thing, and just kind of give yourself the time to play, to mess up, to throw away, to start again, and ensure that you have like a cohesive set to go, because that's the biggest thing. It's just that everything needs to be a set, everything needs to go together. I just say give yourself time. For me, at this point, all of our displays are pretty much set. So I just have to go in and replace or add items or like sprinkle in more. So I don't really feel like I need that much time of preparation. Typically, I'd like to at least give myself like a good week or two before it's due, that kind of thing, to just go through and like add things, change things, and just make sure that the whole set is cohesive and goes well.
And I do want to point out for the listener, Lulu's at in a different space, meaning that you're painting for what is it, 7 studios now?
Eight.
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 So
But
when
I hear there would be more.
oh
Ooh,
when
we're
Lulu's
privy to special information.
Yeah, you didn't get that from me.
I'm
Too
not
late. Too
listening.
Yeah,
late.
y'all didn't hear anything.
No, I'm not crossing your bosses. No, ma'am. So when Lulu is talking about taking 2 months to do a sample change out and a big themed change out, that's not necessarily what the regular studios are going to do. So a month to do like a really big overhaul, you think could be a good starting
I think
ending
so.
point?
I think so. I think as long as you give yourself time to play, because that's the biggest one. I feel like nowadays we just want to produce and kind of just put out so fast that we don't stop and like take a big step back and a big look at it all. So I say give yourself time to sketch out, to mess up, to see what works, see what pieces are your best sellers, that kind of thing, and like how to incorporate them into your display if that's what you're trying to do, or things that aren't doing as well and you'd like to get them moving. It's a great opportunity to take that chance. So I say to give yourself a month for sure. And that's pretty much it.
And why does As You Wish invest so much in making sure the samples are fresh and making sure that you're going through and doing these big undertakings? And, like Michaela and Liz went out this morning
Mm-hmm.
and changed all of these in the stores.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a lot of money, you know what I mean? So can you kind of explain?
Yeah, it's for our customers. It's inspiration for our customers. At the end of the day, we have customers that come every other month. We have customers that come in once a year. We have customers that come in every week, that kind of thing. So having some fresh ideas constantly in their face, constantly wherever they go, will only inspire them to want to create more, to want to paint more, to want to spend more time in your studio. So I think that keeping things fresh, keeping things constantly flowing, constantly in trend to what's happening. So that way, like Father's Day, having samples of Father's Day gifts and things like that will only make your customer be like, oh my God, I need to paint sample, or I need to paint a gift for dad or a gift for grandpa, that kind of thing. And there's already something there for them to grab and paint.
It's like you want to make the barrier to entry so low that it's like
Yeah.
no one can be like, oh, but I don't know what to do, or oh, I don't know how to
Mhm.
paint, or oh, whatever,
Mhm.
So yeah,
Exactly.
I have an important question. Lulu, what is your favorite shape to paint? What's your go-to?
Ooh, like piece?
Yeah.
Honestly, a dinner plate. Like I can never say
Mm.
no to a cool dinner plate. Just like that blank space. It's just,
It's
like
Yeah.
just
the Metropolitan Charger for me. I'm like, I could paint everything on that, though it's heavy and expensive, but I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I don't care.
That's
Everything's
funny
clear.
because for me, every time I have to paint that platter, I'm like broken because
Yeah.
it's the square. It reminds me too much of a blank page, and
Mhm.
it freaks me out. I don't know. And every time I try to do anything with it, I just notice that with that piece, I try to always do more
Mm,
for some reason. Like I feel like I need to do more for it
yeah.
than anything else.
I feel
It's
that
so
way
weird.
about like a rimmed circle plate. Like
Mhm.
it's something I used to love it, and now it like my brain is broken, and I think about the rim and the center as two
Mhm.
different things, and I can
Mhm.
never get it right anymore.
I say keep it simple. When it comes to a rim, you paint stripes on a rim or you paint a solid with splatter, something like that. Because at the end of the day, the rim is already blocking you from doing anything extra. So don't do anything extra because
Yeah.
it's always going to be too much. So I say if you're going to do something on a rim, whether it's a pattern or whether whatever it is, make that its central
Mhm.
focal point and move on from there. Don't spend too much time on a rim.
For those listening, I often will text Lulu and be like, fix it because we get too
Yeah.
close to the
Yeah.
situation,
Mhm.
So
Sometimes you do need that like separated, like that someone
Yeah.
else to be like, it's fine, it's great, or
yes,
no, stop. Yeah, I get
yes.
that. I have that with Liz and Michaela here, so I have that every day.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Sounding boards.
Yeah, sounding boards.
So this episode is, it's titled Successful Samples. And I know that's like a big big ask, of us with you to say like, "Hey, what makes a successful sample?" But we do kind of want to know, from your opinion, like what are you finding that makes you happy? What are you finding that's making your customers happy? What's everyone replicating in the studio? Like what do you think the vibe is right now?
I think keep it simple. That's my biggest thing. Keep it simple because at the end of the day, the customer wants to see something and feel like they can recreate it themselves. Sorry,
So
something's
funny to
making
me
some
that you
crazy
are saying
noise.
keep it simple when I
I
have seen the
know,
last
I know.
several things you've made.
I okay, but what did we just say about do as I say,
Uh-huh.
not as I do? But at least when it comes to my samples for like floor samples and things like that, I do try to keep it kind of relatively simple because at the end of the day, like it's not a class, so it's not something that someone can just come in and they're gonna purposefully sit there for 2 hours with a lesson plan or with a guide and follow along. When it comes to a floor sample, it should be something that you pick up and you're like, I can do this really fast, that kind of thing. So for me, it's bright colors, always bright colors. It has to be punchy. It has to be in your face. It has to be something that makes sense to use paint on, to have fun and, experiment with colors and things like that. So That's my main concept anytime I try to do a sample. It's just pretty much like how punchy can I make it? How interesting to the eye, like how eye grabbing can I go with it? And is it fun? Like, is it fun to paint? Like, that's ultimately my goal. It's just to ensure that my customers are always having fun.
I'm gonna ask now just like questions that I really care about, which I would love to
Mm.
know your like if you take me Roy G. Biv down the rainbow,
Okay.
and I know you're a
Okay.
Gare studio, you know,
Yes.
I can see it all behind you. I want to know your red, orange, yellow, green. Like what are the colors you're pulling to get a rainbow?
Ooh.
Okay, pretty simple. It's gonna start with red blaze,
Mhm.
orange crush, water yolk, because I
I
love me a
love that
warm
color.
yellow. I love
Mhm.
me a warm yellow. It's literally my go-to color. Like I
Mhm.
can't do anything without a water yolk. Then lime Ricky for my green. I like that chartreusey kind of
Mhm.
tone, kind of on my hair.
Oh yeah.
Uh, um, Blue, I have a love-hate relationship with blue. I can go blue heaven, but I also kind of lean a little bit more towards the teals in a way. So I might just pull in a jumpin' juniper instead of a
Yeah.
blue heaven. And then purple, that's another one. Love-hate relationship.
I
It's
know I
just
can never land on one. Like that's when
Mm-mm.
I cycle through the most.
Same.
I wish I had a brighter purple than the purples I kind of have. Just because bouncing berry and jumping jelly are just too jarring sometimes.
Hmm.
And then grape slush is too muted. Like I
Mhm.
wish I had like a happy medium of a purple that stands out. With those, it might be a gamble. It might be whatever I'm trying to go for at that moment. So if it's something dark, I might pull a jumpin' jelly. If it's something lighter, I might go bouncing berry just for that hint of pink that it has.
Yeah, what
And
about
then
pink?
pink, I don't really like. I'm more of a peach girl myself, so
Mhm.
I would go more peachy keen
I do
than
love peachy keen, but
love
there is
peachy
a
keen.
time and place for a pink Lulu. Justice for pink.
Hmm. Cotton candy all day.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah,
go
I'm a cotton candy.
peachy keen is the way. Peach fuzz and peachy keen all day, okay? All day.
Fine.
Mm.
Fine.
Yeah, it's just if I have to go, I will use it in the pink because it's like light enough that's not too dark. We also have tickled pink. Tickled pink is just too like, ugh, what are you,
Mm.
purple? Like, what's happening?
I agree.
She's saying that
Yeah.
affectionately, everyone at Gare who is listening.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, of course. I love Gare. What do you mean? I love Gare. I love all the colors. I love them so much. What do you mean? I just,
Just a
have
small
very
vendetta
strong.
against pink.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just have strong opinions about the colors. That's all.
Yeah. Hey,
Well, and
I,
I
me
asked
too.
that because I'm nosy and I just like to know that kind of stuff. But I think that it's really important for studios to develop a like core color palette so that way it
Mhm,
takes the
Hmm.
guesswork out of every single.
mhm, mhm.
Because if you're like, oh, I need to fully refresh my summer display and it's 30 pieces, then you're not having to agonize over every single thing. It looks cohesive, it looks good. Like at the end of the day, visual branding really matters in what we
Hmm.
do. So big fan of that.
I also just think that the easier that the customer can see colors and be like, oh my God, that's so As You Wish. Oh my God, that's so, whatever studio.
Hmm.
Like, as long as that there's a correlation between the color and you, I think that that's the part that stands out the most. I also am a big fan of knowing how to like fix things. So I know all my colors in and out. So
Yeah.
just in case at any point I have to fix anything, I know immediately what color I used and how to fix that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't always have a core color palette because
Mm.
I'm painting like trend stuff and I keep
Sorry.
extensive notes because you think you're gonna remember, you never ever.
No, you never. I play myself with that game all the time. Paint something, and then 2 months later, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But because I do that, I also know what my colors are. So that way I know, I always
Yeah,
know
that's a
what
good
colors
point.
I use. I may not know what steps I did to
Oh
go
my
about
God.
it, but I definitely know what colors I used.
Yeah, or it's time for me to write the lesson plan and I'm like, well, I didn't paint the background first, but I should have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what
Mm-hmm.
you guys will be doing. It's a
Right,
lot of
right,
like,
right, right,
again, do as
right,
I say,
right.
not as I
Not
do.
as I do.
Yeah.
I do
I
that too.
am very guilty of having too many colors. I mean, I always think the more the merrier personally, but I'm aware that when I have like 37 shades of blue, that maybe we don't need 37
Mhm,
shades of blue.
mhm,
Good
mhm.
luck prying them out of my cold dead hands, but maybe we don't need that many. So, Lulu, how many colors do you have just on hand that you're working with?
I can't give you an.
I'm like, how
I
many is in
can't.
those boxes? One, two.
It's
Oh,
fine.
yeah, well, we do have all of Gare's colors for sure, but whenever I'm working on a project, I want to say I try to limit. I want to say in a perfect
Hmm.
world, I will limit myself because first of all, I also want the customer to be able to look at something and then grab the paint chip, the paint
Hmm.
color, and just immediately know, oh, that's the color she used. So I try not to mix too much paint because even though part of me is like, yeah, mix them, part of me also knows because of teaching, right? I know that when you say mix to multiple people, it might mean multiple things, you know?
Yeah,
So
and they really
different.
don't like that open-ended, like,
Mhm. And it's
yeah.
just a variance too. So, like, my mix or my version of a color might not be the same version of their color. So, I
Hmm.
try to just take that kind of guesswork away from it all, and just try to keep it as tightly as I can. So, I say try to start, maybe limit, not 30 something blues, but maybe start with like 15 and then start, reeling back
Dialing
little
it
by
back.
little, dialing it back little by little. I think I'm also a really big fan of a dark, a light, and black and white. I like the concept of light blue and a shockingly like opposite dark blue for that, and then black and white because those are my
Hmm.
accent colors, even though they're not colors, but whatever. We'll deal with that
Yeah,
for another day.
I've had to learn over the years, like if you're only using a color on like 5% of the piece, you have to get rid of the color. And that was a really hard
Mm-hmm.
lesson to learn because I
Mm-hmm.
also, I want like max color all the time, but now I try to say like no more than 9 colors. But even then
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, ooh, that was a big one.
To me, it depends because sometimes it's like, oh my God, I can do all the colors. But sometimes it's like, I don't like, I also think about it too, like for kids' pieces, you don't want kids to have 9 bottles of
Yeah.
paint on their table. Like that
Hmm.
sounds like it's going to be brown or it's going to be that weird sloshy mixture of colors that what color is it even? So I say take that away from yourself, from them, take that whole guesswork and that messy work away and keep it simple.
I think the kids samples is a good like kind of next turn to make. I love your kids pieces. You have such a good eye for like taking something and turning it into something else. I saw something yesterday that was like, I don't even know what the mug is, but you painted it like a strawberry with
Oh
feet.
yeah,
What
yeah,
is that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
by?
It's called the cutie mug. I think
It's
I can show
so
you guys.
yeah,
It's
Yes.
that guy.
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
so
Ours
good
is
at
like
that
a
kind of
Kirby
stuff.
at our store. So that's really
Oh, that's
cute.
so
Yeah.
cute. Yeah. So it's funny because I originally had painted it to be a little chick, like a little
Mm.
cracked egg and a little chick, and then I'm like,
Oh,
hate it.
8.
So, so
I
she
might be with
actually
Liz
came up.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. I moved past it. I think I don't
Yeah.
know. But she actually came up with the idea of the strawberry just because, like, I don't know, but it's kind of trendy. Strawberries again.
Mm.
Yeah.
Strawberries have this thing where like they leave, come back. I don't
Every
know.
couple years,
Uh,
yeah. How are you putting so many strong black outlines on all these kids' pieces? Like, are you finding that they're doing that, or is it just like to sell the sample? I mean, I say that with love, but like, how do you get around
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I think I could do less, but I'm a big believer that black encases everything and it kind of just finalizes your work. I also have come to the acceptance and understanding that kids don't care. They're going to do whatever they want to do.
Mhm.
And if you
Mm.
can have a piece that parents are going to be like, oh my God, I want them to paint that. The parent is well aware that the kid is not going to paint the sample or the piece just like I painted the sample. They're going to do their own
Mhm.
thing. They're going to have fun with it. And at the end of the day, my ultimate goal is to get, I don't know if I can say that, but booties in seats. My
Yeah.
goal here is to
Yeah.
get people to come in, people to paint. So ultimately, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I taught enough classes to know that kids aren't really worried about their outlines. They're not really going to
Mhm.
care if their lines are fine or not. They're there to paint. They're
Mhm.
there to create a mess. They're there to be like, oh my God, I did this. I'm an artist, that kind of thing. And
Hmm.
our role as studio associates and class teachers is to be like, you did it. Oh my God, that's amazing. And that's
Yeah.
ultimately where I stand on that. I say I could do less, being that, I hear it all the time. I could do less. But ultimately, if it sells, I don't really care.
I mean, if you're
Hmm.
not getting pushback, then yeah, I understand that you
Yeah.
wouldn't change, but that is
Yeah.
something that I think about all the time. And I'm curious, Jess, like, do you do a lot of kids stuff and are you running into any issues with like anytime there are outlines or finicky little details.
Yeah, I mean, silk screens make those things easy, and I like to do the paper painting projects and the bubble projects, and then anything with
Mhm.
the specialty glaze. Like I find that our kids think that like the crackle glaze, the cobblestone is like
Mhm.
really cool, crystal
Cool.
glazes, stuff like that. So, but
That's
I'm with Lulu. Kids are gonna like they're there to be creative and to learn the dexterity of it all. You're probably setting yourself up for failure if you think that all the kids are going to come in at a variety of ages and skills and be able to
Mhm.
reproduce these exactly as so.
They don't
So,
even, yeah.
Hey, podcast pros, give yourself a high five for tuning in and leveling up your business game. Seriously, we see you. Here at Biscuit Imports, we're all about helping studios like yours thrive. From our ever-growing lineup of awesome bit shapes to a huge library of resources, videos, and tools, we're here to make your job easier and keep those customers coming back for more. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned studio superstar, we've got your back. Let's keep the creativity flowing, the kilns burning, and the good vibes rolling. Check us out anytime at biscuitimports.com. We're here to help you grow, shine, and succeed.
Are you spending hours managing studio bookings and class registrations? Occasion helps ceramic studios save an average of 3 days a week in admin time. With clever workflows, instant confirmations, and seamless class management, you can focus on what matters, creating amazing experiences for your customers. Join successful studios like Clay Cafe Avalon, who've trusted Occasion since 2016. Visit occasion.app and schedule a demo today. Mention Glazed Over Podcast for personalized setup support.
To me, I honestly, from teaching so many like homeschool socials, so many kids' summer classes, so many projects like that, there are going to be some kids that want those finer lines and those finer details. And there are kids that are just there to have fun, to wreck it, to have the most.
I think I just ran into more parents that were like, Jimmy can't do that, so we won't come that day. So I was, I'm sort of like, I do get in my head a little bit about like, well, that mom is
Yeah.
going to assume their kid is going to not be able to do that, so they won't come. But
Mm,
I think times are changing for sure. I mean,
yeah,
oh yeah.
I'm also the kind of person that's like, if I'm met with that too, I can't keep my mouth shut, I guess, and I just immediately am like, well, we're gonna teach them how to do it. We're gonna
Yeah.
be there every step of the way. So
Right.
yeah, he can't do it now, but after that class, I
He
bet
will.
you he will. You know what I mean? I'm kind
Mhm.
of in the mindset of that too. So I think ultimately parents are aware of what their kids can and can't do, and as long as we give them the like confidence to know that we're going to be there every step of the way, that we're going to make sure that ultimately that they're having fun, because that's ultimate what they're going to be there for, that their money is going to be spent on ensuring that that kid for 2 hours is entertained. We're glorified babysitters sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, let's
Yeah.
call it what it is. So
Facts.
yeah, it's what it is. So I'm going to make sure that for 2 hours, you don't think about anything but putting paint onto pottery, however you want to do it. So if I have to sit there and outline for you, or if I have to sit there and like, walk you through it every step of the way, I'm going to do that because ultimately I want you to have fun. So just my mindset on it. And I'm hoping that when it comes to anyone that teaches a kids class, they also have that mindset, to like ensure that ultimately the goal is to ensure that your kid is having a blast. And if it's one kid, awesome. If it's 30, it needs to be the same concept of quality of time than just to sit there and try to perfectly paint something that I literally sit and paint all day and am able to do with my eyes closed, that kind of thing. So
Right.
I've noticed over the last couple of years, maybe, that As You Wish has started to introduce more stickers into stuff. Can you walk us through, like, maybe like what you use, your thought process behind that, like how it goes in the studio? Are they available all the time? I want to hear it all.
with us stickers, I use Procreate to create our stickers. So like pretty much I get like a list of things that people want. Like if we're doing themed stuff, like when we did Swifty night, we just went in and I got a lot of stuff from Swifty related things and just kind of made them into stickers, like the name, the different eras and whatnot, that kind of stuff. I'm not a Swifty myself. I'm sorry.
I can tell the struggle of you trying to
The
even come
struggle.
up with
It's so
another
real.
thing.
It's hard. Yeah. But yeah, so I use Procreate. I create them myself, and then Liz has a fancy cutter. I don't know what it's called, so I'm not the person to ask that. And so we have some themed ones. So if it's a themed event or whatever, I try to create stickers that kind of align to that. And then all year round, we have like heart, stars, flowers, fire, peace signs, all that kind of things that people can use at any point in the studio. So we just keep them in a little drawer and whatnot. And then Liz refills them every month or so. So we have pretty much the option of both. Like you can just go in and grab from that drawer. Or if you're in a themed event, you will have some sort of special stickers that I created just for that event.
Are you finding that those are like people are really loving it for the themed event?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
takes
think
the
kids
effort
love
out.
it. Yeah. Kids love it just because it creates kind of like so for outlines, it's a great tool for outlines, like to kind of create kind of like a coloring book kind of concept where it's just the outline and then they paint that black, peel that off, and then just fill in the rest with color. We found that actually really worked most of all for larger classes and during holiday seasons. We did like a Grinch plate, I think, last year that kids loved because it was literally the black was just a sticker. So they got to do the black and then peel it off and then painted it like a coloring book, and everybody loved that. So I think there's still some struggle here and there just because kids having a harder time pulling off stickers on larger things like that. So we kind of have to be mindful about that. But I think that overall, it's just kind of another tool to have fun and to experiment with. And to like, also, if you're kind of finicky, you can ensure that you have really good shapes and things like that with it. So I think any tool that enhances the customer's experience, we're going to try, we're going to put out, we're going to do our best to ensure that everyone can use.
Yeah,
love
agreed.
that.
I mean, if people want to get started with stickers, what would be your advice to them?
Well, Cricut is a really good tool. So Cricut also has like shapes already and things like that. So if you were to purchase a Cricut machine and get the Cricut Studio, I think it's called, which comes as part of your, I'm not really the person to ask this, but from what I know and from me using it, I know that Cricut has and it's the Cricut cutting machine, right? They have an editing studio, and in that little studio, you have shapes there. There's shapes already there, so you could start there. Their machines are also, for smaller studios. There's smaller machines, there's larger machines, whatever you want, and whatever is affordable for you too. And I say ultimately, you kind of have to like play with your shapes and play with your things, see what works for you, see what you find easier to use, and then take it from there, So like I can show you guys too, like we have stuff like that's a sticker, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but like our machine, is a precise one sometimes.
Yeah, wow.
And maybe the idea is like try it in a workshop setting first,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that way you can troubleshoot it and be there and see how it
Mhm.
works. But I think,
Yeah.
I mean, I know silk screens are always going to be there and they're such a great tool, like reusable and amazing. But I'm so pro sticker and I want like a US cutter, but I don't want to buy it.
I don't want to do the weeding of the whole situation. So we have the Cricut and I want to do stickers, but like doing the picking all
But
the
like,
little stuff
is
out.
washing a silk screen better?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm with you.
infinitely.
I'm
What?
not.
No.
I'm
That's
not.
great. Okay, here's my stance on that. Here's my stance on it. It's funny because we tried silk screens and we cannot do silk screens because either our customers cut them or our staff don't clean them properly or they go
It's a
missing.
bad
I don't.
sheet. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's
it's a bad sheet or it just doesn't work sometimes. I don't know. And we found that stickers work because of the ease of it all. You know what I mean? So like it's so much easier to like literally stick something down, paint it, peel it off, you're done. And when it comes to the weeding part, find somebody that likes to do it. Because I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
right now, it's so much fun to like pop on headphones, listen to some murder mystery, and sit there and weed. And your brain is blank, but look, the motion is so rewarding sometimes. You know what I mean? And then to like put on the contact paper into all of them, I'm going to tell you right now, you have to find your people. Because there's
Yeah,
somebody in
I
your
gotta find a
team.
person who wants to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. There's
That
somebody
is-
in your team that will love to do it. I'm
Maybe.
telling you right now, that's gonna find that the opportunity to sit there and do that like as the most rewarding thing ever. Trust.
That
Okay,
that is
I'm
really
that
good
person.
advice.
Yeah, that's
That's fun.
something I'm grateful for, that team, you know what I mean? So like I don't do anything alone, you know what I mean? So I say it's for smaller studios, find your people, find people that are down to bleed for you. Like we joke that we bleed purple for As You Wish, like so what colors are fun? It's purple. Like we bleed it. You gotta find the people that are down to get on the nitty-gritty with you and like try things out with you and like help you find the things that will work, find the things that will stand you out. They're the ones that are on the sales floor, they're on the ground, they are the ones talking to your customers. Get those people in your team and go from there.
I have another logistical question for you that is
Logistics.
around your tissue paper transfer. So, As You
Yes.
Wish as a whole pretty much does tissue paper transfer, whereas
Mhm.
I was always brought up on carbon paper, but it's expensive. Yeah, perfect, just like that. Are you using a Sharpie or using a like Crayola? What are you using to do the transfer pen
I
wise?
use Sharpie. I use
Never
color
any issue
Sharpies.
with that?
Okay, so I have found that if you leave any spot unpainted, so like let's say that you are going in and like leaving where the outline is, where the marker is, if you
Mhm.
leave that without any paint, it is going to give you issues. I'm
Mhm.
not certain what that's about. I think it's something to do
I
with
think it's
what
the alcohol,
I think it's the alcohol,
I
and I
think
think
so
it's
too.
evaporate as it's evaporating.
like at a different
With
rate or something.
Right.
Oh
And
my God,
then
we're
with the
so
glaze.
smart.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
smart. But oh my god,
Chemical
so
engineer.
you know it. I think it's something to do with the heat, the alcohol, and the glaze. I think it's just the combination doesn't really foster like a good cemented. I don't know how to explain
Yeah,
it,
it
but
like
like
almost acts like a resist.
repels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. It kind of repels it. So to me, if I'm gonna do a sticker, I tip or not a sticker. I'm sorry, a traceable. I typically paint a background so that way there's already something
Mhm.
for underneath it. And then when I'm painting over my traced lines, I paint over my marker. Like
That's
that's
smart.
my every time paint over. And then when I glaze it, after I let it dry, I go in with my finger and I finger sand
Mhm.
all around my Legos, just because it ensures that the glaze is a little thinner there, and that whatever is evaporating, whatever needs to escape, escapes. And so far, I don't have problems, but it's kind of finicky. You know what I mean? It's not always going to be, as we said, I'm not a scientist. I have no idea. It might work sometimes, it might not, but I just noticed that if I take those steps to ensure that like it's well covered around where the marker is, like if there's paint on that surface and underneath it, it causes me less issues. That's just the way
Yeah.
I've been able to do
Out
it.
of nowhere, pencil is bothering me lately. I've been using the
Mhm.
same pack of like 100 pencils, and
Mhm.
on my last rainbow mug run, you can see it, and it's not even like
Mhm.
the color. Like it sometimes it's under purple, sometimes it's under blue,
Yeah.
and it acted like a resist. And I'm not pressing down any
Mhm.
Mhm.
harder. Like
Mhm.
it's so crazy that we are
I
in an art that has sometimes these like mysteries you can't solve.
Yeah, I literally am having I've been having the same issue for a little while, and then Michaela got me into these pencils. I don't know if she told you about it maybe, but I think she got them from a convention, I want to say. I'm not sure, or she talked about it. I don't know. But they're like no
Ooh,
Oh
lead.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
so I don't
infinity
know what I'm
pencil.
saying. Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Is that working?
it's working. I like it because it's kind of lighter than a
Mhm.
regular pencil. So like it's lighter, but I am noticing that it's giving me some issues sometimes, like on top of paint. So I have to
Uh,
be very mindful about like sketching on top of a color or on top of glaze. So
mhm.
I'm trying to be
Hmm.
mindful about that, to be honest. But when it comes to pencil, yeah, pencil, I can't use that anymore. Like I don't know where the breakdown happened, but I cannot sketch onto pottery with a regular pencil
It's
anymore.
so
Like
crazy because I
and
can't do my job without it. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
see people, I did the whole like Crayola marker too a million years
Mm,
ago, but the second like any
mm-hmm,
water touches it or if you mess
mm-hmm.
up, like it gets so rowdy in there.
I don't know what it's called. I just know Michaela got me a bunch of them, and I've been using them so far. And so far, I kind of like them. Just not having to erase first of all, and then you can still like just rub your hand past it, and it still leaves you a little a
Mhm.
lighter kind of sketch or design of it all. And
Hmm.
that kind of has been working for me. But yeah, no more pencils. I can only use pencil when I'm tracing, like if I'm tracing onto tissue paper, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm not ready to let it go. So if anyone listening
Yeah.
has like a
Mm-hmm.
pencil brand that's tried and true, I mean, I've tried it all, Ticonderoga to the cheapos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, all of a sudden it's a thing. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I did mechanicals, I did regular pencils, I did all this shebangs, and I still, yeah, like
So crazy.
Amazon, yeah, number two
Yeah.
brands.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know what happened there, but I give up.
Mysteries of the art world.
Seriously.
That's
Whenever
our
you
next
think you haven't,
podcast.
yeah, whenever you think you haven't figured out, the pottery gods throw you like these
Yeah.
crazy curveballs that you're like, oh, okay, I guess I should have put, more oranges in my offering. I'm sorry.
I mean, honestly, more blood, more sweat, more tears.
Yeah, right, right.
There's already so much, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what are you working on right now? It's June. This episode will not come out until October, which is crazy to think about.
Crazy.
Right.
What are you working on in this current moment?
Right now, I just finished some events for August, and we're doing clay in August as well. So I just glazed all of that. Michaela made them. They're gonna be so
They're
cute, you guys.
so
I
cute.
wish I could show, but I can't. They're in the kiln right now, but yeah. And then we're doing a rhinestone rodeo, girl rodeo kind of thing. So
Ooh,
I need
yeah.
to I need to do all the traceables for that, which I kind of have
And
some
I
already, but
have
I
to
just kind of,
say that all of these designs look incredible on Amy All Bisque, which
oh,
As You Wish is using a lot of. So I want to thank you for that.
oh.
Encourage everybody at home listening. Anytime you want to do a themed
Yeah.
event, Amy
Mhm.
All Bisque is there for you.
I mean, it just worked out so well. Every single piece. It's
They're
perfect.
gonna
So I
edit
don't
this out. I'm gonna be listening to
know.
when it goes live, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I promoted
I,
myself. Why didn't they?
I will just say it's been so easy. First of all, the squiggle vases, like I can't get enough of a squiggle
I
vase.
saw your cow print.
I'm obsessed. I want to do another
I love
one.
that.
So
I'm
cute.
just so
Perfect.
obsessed. It's just so like perfect.
Good.
You know what I mean? So
Well, I can tell everybody this because this will be out after a convention, but my classic convention is on the double squiggle and it's Chapel Roan themed. It's called Good Luck Babe and it has you've seen it. Lulu saw it back in
it.
January when I was making
Yeah.
it,
Oh,
but it
okay, okay,
has
okay,
like
okay.
all like good luck
Charms. Yeah, yeah,
charms on it,
yeah.
which
I'm
is really
so
cute.
excited.
So,
Cute.
Excited,
so
excited.
I hope
So
everybody came
excited.
to the class and liked it.
It was a
Mhm.
lot of fun, actually.
There you go. Exactly.
I wasn't there,
Yes,
but
yours was
I
great.
know it was amazing.
Beyonce came. It was crazy.
Yeah, oh my God,
What?
yeah.
What?
And
I
and
missed
I'm
it.
actually I quit the
What?
podcast because I'm on tour with
What?
Beyonce. So sorry,
Oh,
everybody.
stop.
Just
Oh, I'm
kidding.
jealous.
Um, that's so fun. How many for these themed events, which I think As You Wish isn't the only person who's sort of replacing the regular classes with just doing bigger themed events. How many samples are you normally painting for this for people to choose from?
We have 8 studios,
Well,
and
and I'll ask you this. I know you're painting a lot because 8 studios. Per
yeah.
studio, how many options are you giving your customers to paint? Is it 10 things? Is it 5? Like,
No, it's like 3 per studio at most. Like we do
oh,
have,
okay.
yeah, yeah. We only do like 3 samples. Like I try to do 3 samples per studio, for the most part. And then what we do is that they're on our website. So if they just want to go in and sit down and paint something that the studio doesn't have, they have a picture of it. And everything's easy enough that, and because of the traceables, stickers, whatever, it's easy enough that anyone can just sit down, look at the picture, and an associate can help guide them along, So we try to keep it simple like that, because I can't paint 10.
Yeah, I was wondering. I kind of thought you had been doing that, painting
No.
like
Mhm.
70 samples for
Yeah,
Rhinestone
me too.
Rodeo night.
Well,
Like, that's
it is
insane.
kind of like 70 samples, but like, no, we try to keep it to like 3 at most, I want to say. It just also depends. Sometimes I'm just like vibing, and if I have time, I want to have as many options as possible. I try to keep it to 3 at most. And then they can always go to the website and look at all the samples all together, and then take it
Mhm.
from there themselves. Yeah.
Where is it on the website? Just on the like booking
Classes?
listing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Classes and events, pretty much. You can always go there, and we'll always have like Lizzie
That's smart.
and they just go through and like add them all. Like they
Mhm.
do their editing, cutting out the backgrounds or whatever they do. Like amazing
Whatever they
angels
do.
that they are, whatever.
Spoken
Magic.
like the true artist.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All I do is paint, guys.
Yep.
That's all I do. I don't do
No, I
anything
get
else.
it. Some of us have to do it all, Lulu, and it
I
sucks.
know, and I'm so proud of you and so amazed, and you're an inspiration. And I could never do
Yes.
your job, and I
Thank
don't ever
you.
want to do your job. So you
Well,
doing it
I
is,
wish you could.
amazing.
Listen,
No,
every time I see Lori, I'm like, As You Wish in Atlanta? And she's like,
hey,
no. But how fun would that be if you just, twice a year could come to Atlanta
just
and kick it?
move,
Yeah. No.
move,
No.
move to Arizona.
No, no, no,
Just
no.
come to
I
Arizona.
can't be that far from Jess. Jess is only 2 hours from me at
No.
the moment. We can't
Yeah,
separate like
we're
We're
a
in
that.
package
LA.
deal, the whole thing.
Whatever, Jess, you also come to Arizona. I
We'll
don't
all
even
come. Yeah, I don't.
all of
Arizona.
us. Come to Arizona, please. I hope that someday I want to go to your studio, and I definitely want to someday sit and kick it and actually paint
Come on.
with
Yeah.
both of you guys if I
Anytime.
can, because
Yeah.
Anytime. Yeah, we'll do
I
a
feel
road
like,
trip.
Hmm.
all we get is conventions, and I just want to kick it.
Mm.
Bring some wine and just like have a girl night and like paint.
Agreed.
That's
Heck
what I
yeah.
want.
Yeah, and one day we will.
And
We will.
someday, yeah,
Absolutely.
someday.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Lulu, I think in kind of the last question is going to be less about successful samples and more about maybe if studios are longing to have their own Lulu and they want to, spring for like a lead artist position. Do you have any advice for them as far as like how to even go about doing that? What to look for in a person? Is it full-time work? Is it part-time, half-time work? My God. Is it part-time? Like, what does it look like?
Lower.
I say, okay, just because I'm not the business side of it all, I'm the me side of it all. So obviously, I'd want for someone to be full time so they can fully spend the time to learn and to ensure that like their pieces look awesome and that they're giving it their all. But everyone has a different budget, so I'm not gonna really get into that. But I think that you need to find somebody that is in the trends, that knows trends, that can figure out things of their own and make it work, or figure out things that they see in the world and make them work within the realms of pottery. I think it needs to be somebody that is not afraid to mess up, but can also kick it into gear, because messing up is a portion of it. But there also needs to be some level of not accountability, but respect of the time and respect of the money, because at the end of the day, we are still paying for everything we mess up. So it needs to be somebody that is responsible, that's aware that, it's going to take some time, but they also have to, once they get it, they have to kick it and go into high gear and ensure that what they create stands out and that it was worth the trouble. Ultimately, it just needs to be somebody that can. Here's the thing. My thing is that we don't allow people enough time to really learn the pottery. I'm lucky that I got to do that because I was a sales associate and I just sat in my studio and I painted stupid samples that looked ugly and that were too gray, that kind of thing. I got the chance to mess up and to do my own thing and to like kind of learn that glaze is not the same as acrylic paint. So the rules don't apply. So you have to kind of figure out the rules, figure out how to fix things when you mess up and things like that. So I got the time to do that. So I say, if you're going to give someone a position of lead artist, they have to have had some time to mess up, to learn. So don't put the pressure right away of creating amazing stuff if they have not had time to do the ugly stuff first, to learn from the ground up.
Working in the studio, like you said, is I think such a big part of
Right.
it, because you're understanding not only how everything works, but also like you're seeing what the customers are painting. Like that's such a valuable thing.
And what you can and cannot do with pottery, because that's the other thing. Like, we want it all to work, but like ultimately, I know that our paints are not going to give me, like, whenever I had a customer that wanted me to do a portrait, and I kept on explaining to them that like our paints don't really allow for realism. I can add some blush, I can add a little bit of a skinness to it, but ultimately it's going to be a cartoony version of what they want, because I cannot force the glazes to act like acrylic or like it's not oil paint. Right. It doesn't even let me blend the way that an oil would let me blend. It's honestly like
good luck.
It's good. So that's what I'm saying. So because of me knowing that, I can already like know what my limitations are and how I can push, but I also how it's just going to be a waste of time if I try to reinvent the wheel. If you're looking for a lead artist, they need to have had time on the sales floor, on the side with the customer. They've had time practicing, learning, taking the time to learn. Like I do also a lot of learning on my own outside of As You Wish. Like I do workshop week, which is like a little get together of a bunch of artists that do these tutorials on watercolor, on Procreate, on card making, on things like that are outside of pottery, just because I need to be able to like write quickly. I need to be able to design quickly. I need to be able to do that. So I look for those kinds of trainings myself. So you have to find somebody that's like willing to learn outside of the pottery world, but also within the pottery world. You also have to find someone that takes their time to refine, but also understands, that it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be, a masterpiece every single time. So it has to be somebody that's just down to earth, willing to learn and willing to make it better. I don't know, make things better. So that's pretty much my thing.
Agreed. And I think can be hard in this position of like being an artist. It's not all, this stuff takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort. It's not always easy for someone to take like, oh, that wasn't a successful class, or it wasn't, or this needs to change a little bit, like make this edit here. So I think that is something that took me a long time to learn in the position, is like, it's not personal. You know what I mean? This is like all for the good of what your customers can handle. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And what the business needs. That's my ultimate thing. That's my goal. Ultimately is to make money. That's my goal. So
I think that's all of our goal.
right. So that's pretty much what and it's not I'm not trying to be like, materialistic about it, but at the end of the day, that's my job. My job is to ensure that like what I create gets customers into our studio. So like my goal is always going to be to create things that like catch the eye, that make people want to paint. So if I have to learn how to handwrite on my own to ensure that when I'm painting it translates, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my part. Anything else?
Yeah, Jess, any last questions? Oh, we've got Lulu here.
I think that we've got them all answered. We went through the whole cycle on how to develop a sample and store them and make your own schedules and all that good stuff. So, Lulu, we just want to thank you for giving us all of your information today. You have so much of it. And I'm already
Twice
thinking
now.
about
Yeah,
twice now. So
Lulu,
I think we're
Lulu dropped the
extra good at
bomb
this.
that this is the second time we've recorded this, and I'll have to say even better than last time. So no one's missing
It really was.
anything.
Hey, that's awesome. Good to
Second
hear.
time's
Good
the
to hear.
charm.
Hey, anytime, you guys. Anytime you need me. Anytime you want to chat with me. Just call me. No problem.
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah. No, we love it.
Okay.
Well,
Same.
thank you, Lulu.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Have a great
You
day.
too. Enjoy all
Oh
that painting you got to
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I
You look like you're
will.
ready now.
Yeah, no. Actually, today I get to be pretty chill. I get to doodle all day, so I'm
Nice.
on board for that. Also, I'm alone in the office, so I'm gonna kick the music
Uh-huh.
loud.
Jams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
What's
nice.
your go-to playlist? I need to know.
okay, so right now I'm obsessed, and it's a problem with Laufey. Laufey? Am I
No.
saying that correctly? No? Okay. So
How do you
she
spell
sings
that?
like it's Laufey. Laufey? I can't say it, man.
No, I mean, I've just
I
never heard of that.
You never
Yeah.
heard of her? Well, she's
I bet that we've
jazzy
heard a
and
song and not realize it.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's like jazzy but modern, and I'm
Mm.
obsessed right now with her. Every time she sings, I just melt.
Hmm.
And so I'm kind of obsessed with one of her songs right now, and I have it like on repeat. So whatever playlist that is, that's where I'm at. So listen to Tough Luck.
Okay.
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 Tough Luck.
Tough luck.
Just listen to
I
it.
got a TV in the
It's great.
studio over like Christmas production season last year, and it has been amazing and also terrible because now I'm like, I just do so many like YouTube podcasts, whereas I used to just do podcasts like listening. And
Oh yeah.
it gets so lonely, and it's like it's nice to feel like somebody's in the studio with you. But
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Korean drama, guys. Like a lot
but
of
you have to
Korean
read
dramas.
those.
No, because my
Do
favorite
they dub it?
hack actually. So there's some of them that are dubbed in English, and some of them are dubbed in Spanish, and I speak Spanish, so it's
Of
like, oh,
course.
I love this. What a great way to like
Yeah.
keep my my
Yeah, keep
roots
it going.
intact. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It's kind of like I went through that kick of like the romance books, the romantasy books, and then it got to a point that was just like, am I reading the same book again?
Yes.
Like that thing. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I can't do anything too emotional because then I'll just start crying. I'm too emotional, and it just becomes a whole thing. So I've just moved on to a different type of romance, which is Korean dramas, and it's been great for me. It keeps me focused.
Anything we can get these days.
Yeah, it's called disassociation. Okay, it's
Yeah.
disassociation. It's what that is.
Listen, I've been disassociated from the studio for like a month at this point. So like I have to go back to work and start painting eventually.
Hey,
I think I forgot how.
yeah, that's gonna be a fun little like. How did I do this? How can I do this? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, have fun. Make messes.
Thank you.
Just get warmed up because it's gonna take you a minute. First of all, to get back into being that workhorse machine, you know what I mean? It's gonna take you a minute. So I get that. I get that.
Feel like a juggler at your ceramic studio? Between classes, bookings, and admin tasks, those pins keep flying. Let Occasion help you put down the act and get back to creating. Visit occasion.act to discover your peace of mind.
Thanks for listening. Des Toll here from Bisque Imports. We're proud to support the CCSA podcast and even prouder to support the amazing folks like you. Keep creating, keep growing, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.
Well, thank you,
know,
Lulu.
so- yes, of course. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was really fun.
Hopefully, we
Anytime.
won't have to do this specific episode again, and we can do something different later.
A different episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on board anytime. You holla.
We love you. You're the best.
Okay, love you guys
Yeah.
so much.
We'll
Thank
see
so
you.
much.
Bye.
Glazed Over is brought to you by the CCSA, the Contemporary Ceramic Studios Association. Thank you to our moderators, Amy Williams and Jessica Cowan. Editing by Scott Lester. Executive production by Vicki DeWert. Learn more at ccsaonline.com.